Welcome to the Ball Brad Show. It is Friday, January 19th, and I just burned myself on this cup of coffee. This bad boy is out. Well, folks, Joe Biden is still, quote unquote, the president of the United States, still the worst president in American history. And speaking of the man, we got him right here with another gaffe, fumbling through his words once again. And I think we're going to see more of this. I think we're going to see Joe being taken off his meds, being let loose into the wild, and just having free reign on whatever the hell he wants, because then it gives him more opportunities to bow out of this 2024 election. Here he is.
Appreciate it very much. I also want to mention Congress Deborah Ross. Where's Deborah? I just had my picture taken with her. That's probably why she left. No, all kidding aside. Anyway, she couldn't be here, actually. That's not true. I got it mixed up. And she has, she fights very hard for the people of this district, and she's up in Washington right now.
Jesus, folks. This is the guy running the show. Oh, I just took a picture with her and she left. Oh, wait a minute. She couldn't be here. Folks, we've seen video of this guy looking for dead people in the crowd doing the same thing. Oh, where are you at? Mr. President, she's dead. She's 6 feet in the ground. That's where she's at. Oh, I guess she couldn't be here. Folks, I'm telling you, they're gonna start doing this more, okay? Like I said, they're gonna start tapering the guy off so he doesn't have withdrawals and start shaking everywhere. And they're gonna chauffeur him out on the gurney, and then he's just gonna try to read from a teleprompter. He's gonna fumble through his words. He's gonna look for dead people in the crowd. He's gonna look for people that never existed. He's not gonna know who he is. He's gonna get lost going off stage again. Why? Because there's rumors going around that Michelle Obama here is gonna be running in 2024. Rumor is Joe Biden's out in March. And that's why I think we're going to see more of this, because the more times you have him fumbling through his words, drooling into his drip tray, the more opportunities, again, he's going to have to relay it back to, well, I'm having health issues. Look, he's drooling everywhere. He's poo-pooing everywhere. So Michelle Obama has been making the news lately for a presidential race. She's going to basically sneak her way in, weasel her way in. It says the New York Post columnist, Cindy Adams, warned in a piece published Wednesday that Americans shouldn't be shocked if Michelle Obama sneaks her way into the 2024 race. Now you might be asking, how's that possible if the primary's done for the Democrats? I mean, it's Joe Biden. Well, if you have a health issue, what are you going to do? If Joe Biden bows out because he don't recognize anything, just glassed over, falling asleep during interviews like we've seen, what are you going to do? Quote, plans are to grab Michelle for the Democrat presidency choice. Making the music is Barack, the orchestra leader, Adams wrote. The Obamas are now nudging to force Slow-Mo Joe to go, drop out. It's like, who else is there? That's all you got? Is some lady whose husband was once a senator and twice a president? That's all you got? She doesn't know anything. Where you been, lady, for the last 3 years when everything's been a dumpster fire? All of a sudden you realize Joe Biden ain't the man? You get what I'm saying, folks? Like, where's she been? Everything's been a dumpster fire since this guy's got in office. And look, there is no one else. They're gonna chauffeur out Hillary, who's been passing out. Remember that video of her just like propped up on like a post, and like you had Secret Service carry her into a van? She's not all there either. Adams said President Biden won't debate and said the Obama drum beat has gotten louder. A Joe flop out offers probability Michelle could wiggle in. Obama's negotiating to make that happen right now. And it would have surprised me if that was part of the conversation that Obama had with Joe Biden, either in person or on the phone. If you recall, we did a story how Barack Obama had to be really animated for Joe, probably just to get his attention or keep the guy awake. But I think that might have been part of the conversation of like, hey, buddy, you just don't have it in you. You didn't have it in you to begin with. And it looks terrible that we're chauffeuring you out once again. But I think time is up. I don't think you should be running in 2024. You're trying to communicate with a guy that's not all there. I mean, it had to be a remarkable conversation if you really think about it. But Michelle, she might be up here, folks. We've seen her hitting the airwaves. We've seen the same thing from Barack Obama himself, chauffeuring himself out there, saying a bunch of nonsense. Look, these are the same people that gave the cartel weapons and then wanted to sit there and figure out and track the weapons after crimes have already been committed. These are the same people that were supposed to unify the country and did the exact opposite. These are the same people that sat there and gave Iran, who funds terrorist organizations around the globe, $1 billion in cash. Not like what you see Biden supposedly doing, where it's just funds that have to basically go through a third party vendor and then is getting approved by the United States and then delivered. No, he just flew pallets of money to Iran. And we know that Iran roughly spends $1 billion on terrorism every single year. And these people want to run again? Folks, people would leave Biden in a heartbeat to just go after that last name Obama. So we'll see what happens. Don't be shocked in about a month and a half, 2 months here, if you see Joe Biden say, I can't do it anymore. I just don't have it in me. No, Joe, you didn't have it in you a long time ago, but that's all the Democrats have. They don't have a bench whatsoever. Well, speaking of crazy things, other than Michelle Obama popping her way into things, you got a bombshell report here finding out that Chinese lab mapped COVID-19 virus weeks before China notified the world. Yes, you heard that correctly. Chinese researchers reportedly identified and mapped the COVID-19 virus weeks before China notified the world, according to a new bombshell report. The alarming findings raise serious concerns about China's transparency regarding the initial coronavirus outbreak. Oh, well, remember, China was like, it wasn't us. It wasn't us. Turns out you're lying. Shocker. We'll probably get flagged here on YouTube because we're talking about COVID-19. They love to censor us and shadow ban us here. Weren't we saying stuff like this the entire time that it came out of China? Remember when Trump was doing the same thing? And you have reporters going, well, don't you think it's just xenophobic that you keep calling it the China virus? And Trump was like, excuse me, no, it's China. It's come from China. The Wuhan Chinese lab. Well, we don't know that it came from a lab. And so we're conspiracy theorists for like years. You couldn't say any of this, by the way, like 4 years ago. If you said anything I'm saying right now on the airwaves, you were banned. Like, you would have been deplatformed. Happened to Dan Bongino. You would have been removed from YouTube altogether. Like, you ain't coming back. So now you have China, who's basically admitted, yeah, it came from us, sorry, lying about it, which, again, not a shock to any of us here. But the other crazy part of this is, where's the repercussions? I've been saying this for those that have been longtime listeners, day one listeners of the Ball Brad Show. I've been saying this for 3 freaking years. Where's the consequence? Like, where's the payout here for, like, at least some monetary damages for a country pulling this type of maneuver? Remember when Biden sat there on the campaign trail and looked at Trump? Oh, China's going to eat your lunch, man. Look around. China's, like, talking about invading Taiwan left and right. They're even ramping up their military drills outside the Taiwan Strait there, I think is what it's called. What is Joe talking about? Then you have this coming out. According to documents obtained by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, a Chinese researcher uploaded a nearly complete sequence of the COVID-19 virus structure to a U.S. database run by the National Institute of Health on December 28th, 2019, 2 weeks before China officially notified the world about the deadly virus to the world. Isn't that just lovely? But everybody's just going to look the other way on it. I've always said, hey, you know what? If you don't want to give us money, then why don't you wipe out the debt that we owe you? It's about 7 to 9% in that range of our national debt. Wipe that out, and hey, you know what? I'll walk away. But it's caused millions of people to die, and nothing's been done. You have the same country that's sitting there having the Uyghurs in concentration camps. Nothing's being done. It's astonishing how they're getting away with everything. If we were to pull something like this, what do you think would have happened, folks? Everybody would have been down our throats, right? I mean, look at how much crap they already talk about us, meaning the other countries around the world, on the United States. If you want a great book, even if you're not a fan of her, is Nikki Haley's book called With All Due Respect. She will give you a nice behind-the-scenes look at the United Nations and just how other nations treat the United States, which is really kind of BS if you think about it, because we give them billions of dollars, and they talk shit. They talk shit in front of everybody about us and behind our backs. But then when you're face-to-face with them, all of a sudden, we're their best friend. Why? Because we're giving them this. That's why Trump put America first. Hey, you want to sit there and be a dick? That's fine. No money for you then. If you don't want to sit there and shell out the same proportion of NATO that we are, fine. You know what? Hey, maybe we should drop out of NATO. It's America first here. But you know what? Somehow the Chinese are getting away with this. Why are they getting away with it? You want to guess why maybe Biden isn't going after China in the way that he should be? Because of all the dirt the Chinese probably have on this man and that family. Biden family corruption. Hunter Biden just somehow having business dealings in the province of China, which Joe Biden sent our oil reserve to during COVID. That's supposed to be for Americans for natural disasters. Just so happens the what was like 1 million barrels of oil got shipped to that province, again, where Hunter Biden had business dealings, or you got money flowing from China into Joe Biden's brother's bank account, into Biden's bank account, go figure, or you got money funneling from China to Hunter Biden. All this stuff, it's just amazing, isn't it? But you don't hear a peep out of Joe going after China. Joe is so soft on China, it's head spinning. I'm not even so sure Joe even has his head on straight enough to know that China even exists anymore, but we'll have to see here. I mean, he might again be out by March. So you have this going on where finally they just publicized it. But if that wasn't bad enough, folks, you got a freaking new strain coming out. Yeah, you heard that correctly. Chinese lab crafts mutant COVID-19 strain with 100% kill rate in humanized mice. Surprisingly rapid death. These people are idiots. Why the F do you need to create something like this? And why are you screwing around with this type of stuff when we just had a massive outbreak? Clearly, you can't contain it. Clearly, you hadn't learned your lesson. And now there's a possibility that we're all going to be screwed if this bad boy gets let loose. In a Wuhan-esque study, Chinese scientists are experimenting with a mutant COVID-19 strain that is 100% lethal to humanized mice. Isn't that just lovely? The deadly virus, known as GXP2V, attacked the brains of mice that were engineered to reflect genetic makeup similar to people, according to a study shared last week out of Beijing. This underscores a spillover risk of GXP2V into humans and provides a unique model for understanding the pathogenic mechanisms of SARS-CoV-2 related viruses. The deadly virus is a mutated version of GX2017, a coronavirus cousin that was reportedly discovered in the Malaysian Polynesians in 2017, 3 years before the pandemic. So wild. Nothing's being done. Everybody's like, has anybody actually heard about this? That's the crazy thing. You talk to people, hey, did you know that China's created a 100% lethal strain of COVID? No, I had no idea. After we just got shut down, after we just gave up our liberties and our freedoms, this is way worse than COVID-19. 100% kill rate. You get this bad boy, you're done. You're done. Look at this. It's unbelievable. But Joe's going to massage the shoulders and feet of the Chinese, you guys. Nothing's going to be done. That's why we need Trump in office. And I hope Trump does something about this. Whether it's sanctions, whether it's them paying a penalty, something needs to be done here. Am I right? Let me know in the comment section or live chat. Am I speaking sense here? That there should be some sort of penalty from the Chinese? And the fact that they've gotten away with this after killing millions of people across the world and nobody's banding together going, hey man, little fucked up here. What are you going to do? What are you going to do for the rest of the world that you just gave the middle finger to? Because I remember it's pretty much us and our allies that were the ones that came up with the vaccine. And I understand that, there's some stuff about it not working like it was promised. And I 100% agree with you. But, hey, we kind of need to stay here on YouTube and Rumble and stuff like that. So we're going to be a little bit careful. But I know what you're talking about. Okay, we're on the same pathway there with that one. But we'll see what comes of this, folks. If this bad boy's leaked, game over. Game over. And, maybe there's some truth to the fact of biological weaponry being used on some sort of nation, whether it's Taiwan, United States. Folks, all it takes is this to get in the wrong hands, and it's game over. I mean, the slip up is so small, everybody's effed. Why even mess around with this? What do you have to gain from this gain of function research? If somebody knows the answer, let me know in the comment section below. Well, we got some updates here regarding the Texas authorities doubling down with razor wire in Eagle Pass after Biden admin cease and desist order. I told Greg on the airwaves, Greg, don't give him an inch. Don't give him an inch. They're going to take a mile. Okay. So you have if you recall, you have the Biden administration coming out and going, oh, Republicans are hindering the process. It's really their fault with what's going on at the border. And everyone's looking around like, you idiot, Karine, are you stupid? Maybe, probably. But it's not Republicans' fault, it's the Democrats' fault. Even Democrats recognize that. So you have Texas basically trying to save their state and do everything they possibly can. And the Biden administration, the federal authorities are sitting there suing them for the razor wire, suing them for the buoys, suing them for the makeshift border wall that they created with shipping containers, and the EPA comes in. Everything that Abbott's done to sit here and stop this, the Biden administration has gone after them for. And I really do mean this, I can't think of a single thing that Greg Abbott has done that the Biden administration hasn't stopped him from doing. They want open borders. We all know the end game plan here. Biden works in the same way the Chinese does. And it's the long game. Or should I say the Democrat Party. That's why they want all these people to pour across the border. It has nothing to do with asylum. It has everything to do with votes. Because they know it's gotten so bad to where they have around 30 million plus illegal immigrants in the country, present time, more than half the population of our states, and you just changed the entire dynamic of this country. People that never took the test, people that never paid their money, people never actually wanted to assimilate and really buy into the value and creed and the system of this country. And so when Joe Biden calls a small sliver of those illegal immigrants, those that are poisoning our blood, the left lose their minds, which we saw yesterday. So it's the Democrats that are doing this. It's the Democrats' fault. So if any terrorist attack happens in the future, we're blaming Democrats here, okay? The date is January 19th. It's Democrats' fault if there's a terrorist attack. It ain't going to be Trump's fault if he's president in 4 years. Pray to God that happens. No, it's going to be Democrats' fault. And the sad thing is, you know who the media are going to blame? You know who the media are going to blame? The Democrats are going to blame? They're going to blame, oh, this happened under Trump's watch. How could this have happened? Oh, it's a national security failure. Yeah, because you idiots didn't sit there and decide to take it seriously when the brain-dead president, the geriatric, was president of the United States. You didn't want to take it serious then, but now that people are either being poisoned or there's a massive another explosion that killed an entire group of people, all of a sudden you want to sit there and pay attention. Remember this, folks. Something bad, and I hope it doesn't. I pray to God it doesn't. But we're leading into a realm of something terrible happening within the next 4 years. So Texas authorities have placed additional razor wire, and good on them, to deter migrants in Eagle Pass after Texas Authority General Ken Paxton defied the Biden administration's threat of illegal action. What do you mean? Why would they do legal action? I was told that Biden's losing sleep over this stuff. I was told that, according to Karine Jean-Pierre in the White House, that Biden's doing everything he possibly can to stop illegal immigration. It's his number one issue. I mean, heck, she said since day one, comprehensive immigration reform. They've been working on this for 3 years. That's so weird. I almost feel like I'm being lied to. Oh, wait, it's because we are being lied to, because the White House thinks we're idiots, you guys. This government thinks we're idiots. They forget who runs the show. We run the show, the American people. And you know what? It's been a long time since the federal government's learned that damn lesson, haven't they? A long time. Clearly, they don't get it. Clearly, they don't get that there's 300 million of us and only a few of them. This is what happens, you guys, when you allow your liberties and freedoms to be chiseled away for decades upon decades. And if you think this is bad, give it another 40 or 50 years of your rights being chiseled away. You still have those rights, but boy, oh boy, are they being limited each and every year. And you know who does most of the limiting? Yeah, it's the federal government. Sometimes it is Republicans and conservatives, but it's Democrats. Democrats want to limit your rights. Politicians want to limit your rights. Sooner or later, there ain't going to be any rights to sit there and limit anymore because they're all gone. And boy, oh boy, are we leading in that direction. You pull this kind of maneuver, you ain't going to have a country anymore. You're being invaded right now. Your culture changes. The dynamics of the country change. The voting changes because of those dynamics and those culture shifts. Some serious stuff, folks. This goes way deeper than just 10 million people pouring across the border, having 30 million people present time. You're talking some massive ramifications in your lifetime and my lifetime. If there's amnesty, which probably there's going to be, that's 100% going to be on the table. You can't think that you're going to deport 40 million people, folks. We don't have we're $34 trillion in debt. If you just think 30, when has that ever happened in human history? Where at in the history of mankind have you guys ever seen 40 million people being deported? We'll go as far as 15, 20 million people being deported, actively going search and seizures around the country and removing people, throwing them in a bus or on a plane. You guys, it's not going to happen. Okay. Should it happen? Yes. Should people be deported? Yes. Should we look at the numbers and the figures and go, hey, you know what? You've been here this long. You created a business or whatever it may be. Yeah, all that stuff should be looked at. But what is the most realistic route here? Republicans building a border wall. The border wall is huge. It's beautiful. You can see it from space, the International Space Station. Elon Musk and Mars can see this thing. What's probably going to happen is you're going to get amnesty for a border wall. That's a win for Democrats. That is not a win for us. That is the reason. I'll tell you why it's not a win for us. Yeah, we get a border wall. Border only works so much. It does work. But you just change the dynamic of the country for the rest of your life. All those people are going to be first-time Democrat voters if they aren't already voting in municipal elections like we see in New York City. Some of these people are becoming police officers in Democrat-ran cities. Check that one out. So I know a long rant there, folks, but this is a huge deal, and Democrats just don't care. They don't care. It hasn't impacted them enough, you guys. It hasn't impacted them enough. There's more illegal aliens coming across our border than there are births in the United States. Let that one sink in. There's more illegal aliens than American births. Jesus. The razor wire is at the center of a lawsuit between Texas and the federal government. Paxson on Wednesday informed the Department of Homeland Security, DHS, that Texas will not comply with the demand letter ordering the state to permit federal border authorities in Shelby Park. The Texas Military Department seized control of the park last week, saying the move was necessary to prevent further illegal immigration to Eagle Pass. There was over 302,000 migrant encounters in December alone, after a record-setting 2.4 million encounters in fiscal year 2023. But don't worry, guys, it's ebbs and flows. This is all normal migration, according to Karine Jean-Pierre. For those that are new listeners, I'm dead serious. Somebody tell them in the live chat. How many times have we heard Karine Jean-Pierre go, yeah, it's normal migration. We're trying to look at the root causes, of which they spent like $40 million plus on root causes, just sending money just willy-nilly to Latin America. It really wasn't to find the root causes. They don't know. They don't have any root causes. You saw in yesterday's White House press briefing. Well, what are the root causes? Oh, well, the root causes are root causes. Really, Karine? That makes a lot of sense. That's a lot of sense. These people are idiots. They're idiots. Everybody up there is idiots in the administration. Anthony Blinken, idiot. Jake Sullivan, idiot. John Kirby's become an idiot. And I don't think John Kirby was an idiot before. I just think the idiocracy's just rubbed off on him. Karine Jean-Pierre, idiot. Jen Psaki, idiot. Joe Biden, idiot. Kamala Harris, idiot. DHS Secretary Alejandro Marcus, idiot. They're all idiots. It's if you really think about it, you guys, it's actually astonishing. To be able to have that amount of people there and not one of them has their head on straight, it's pretty remarkable. I mean, the odds are in your favor to have one dude in there that actually seems to know what the hell is going on, but nobody seems to know what's going on. You can't get a clear answer from anybody in that administration. You roll the dice, you have better odds. Hell, just sit there and throw a dart at somebody. Pick somebody up off the street. You'll probably have better odds of actually getting an answer, figure out what the hell's going on. Maybe they'll be able to solve the issue, because whoever's there right now ain't solving shit. 302,000 people. DHS called the move unconstitutional. Of course they did. And said Texas authorities were blocking Border Patrol from approximately 2.5 miles of the border. The administration also said some barriers deployed by Texas sit on federal land. There you go. There you go. They did the same thing with the shipping containers, you guys. Oh, it's on federal land. God forbid you try to secure a border. God forbid you try to sit there as a state and protect your own borders from an invasion. Quote, we demand that Texas cease. We demand that Texas cease and desist its efforts to block Border Patrol. Give them the middle finger, Greg. Give them the middle finger. Don't let up one bit. What are they going to do about it? You're going to send in our military to go after the state of Texas? Civil War. Civil War's coming. If you sit there and now you start competing with Texas, I don't think Texas should budge one bit. Easy for me to say. I'm in the state of California, but hell, I don't know. Block Border Patrol's access in and around Shelby Park and remove all barriers to access in the Shelby Park area. Don't let up. Don't let up. You know what? Let the Biden administration blink. Call their bluff, Greg. And you know what? Texas has had enough of this. You got to sit there and protect your state, man. Because right now, not only are people pouring across that are harming your citizens, your constituents, with fentanyl, MS13 violent gang members like we're seeing right here. Yeah, if those are on audio or listening, mother of woman murdered by alleged MS13 gang member blames Biden officials for daughter's death. You have this pouring across the border going to different states. So this is just more than just people coming across for a better life. This is more than people coming across for, oh, I need work. Really, because we just did an article a couple days ago about a freaking dude in 2019 killing an 8-year-old for his second or third DUI and coming across the border multiple times. Now you got an MS-13 violent gang member killing somebody else. So like I said, don't budge. Texas does not need to budge. Because not only do you have these people coming in who are enemies. MS-13 are animals, like Donald Trump said. But if you recall, the left sat there and flipped that script. Oh, look what he's doing. He's calling immigrants animals. Oh, God, he said they're poisoning the blood. No. It's MS-13 gang members that are poisoning the blood of this country. It's these violent gang members that are poisoning the blood of this country. These are the animals that he was referring to. But Democrats aren't able to make that distinction, you guys, because this isn't working. They can't make that separation between those illegal immigrants that want to truly come here for a good life, that would actually assimilate to our creed and our values, versus those MS-13 violent gang members, the drug cartel, the sex traffickers, the child trafficking, whatever you want to call it. They're animals. They don't have a value system. Are you kidding me? So not only are you competing with these animals, those in Texas, my fellow Texans, my fellow brothers of American, women too, but you understand what I'm saying? So not only are those guys coming in, but now you're having to fight with your own federal government. You're getting it from all angles. You're getting done in from the rear and the front. Don't give him an inch, because this type of stuff's being allowed to happen under the Biden administration. And people go, well, Brad, you did the article about the 8-year-old. Well, that was under the Trump administration. Yeah, it was under the Trump administration. But if you recall, Trump was fighting with who the entire time to build a border wall? The Democrats. The dude was trying everything he freaking could to get that border wall built. And Democrats, every step of the way, were blocking him from building that border wall. That's why that shit happens. It ain't Trump's fault. That's on Democrats. That's on Democrats for not wanting to secure the border like Trump wanted. Remember Nancy Pelosi? Oh my God, we can't build border walls. Oh, we can't do fences either. Didn't want to shell out any money. Now, they wouldn't even give the guy $3 billion. New York City just shuffled around $3 billion to give to like illegal immigrants. So a Maryland mother said Thursday, if government agencies did their jobs, her daughter, who was raped and murdered by an alleged MS13 gang member, would still be alive. Tammy Noble's autistic daughter, God, that's even worse, was raped and strangled to death 3 days after her 20th birthday in 2022. A teen with alleged ties to MS13 gang has been charged in her death and is awaiting trial. Nobles joined Fox and Friends first before testifying at a second impeachment hearing for Department of Homeland Security Alejandro Mayorkas on Capitol Hill over the migrant crisis at the southern border. But it's not a crisis, you guys. It's not a crisis. It's just ebbs and flows. This is normal migration. You see this everywhere around the world. This is completely normal for the United States as well. No, I don't know what they're talking about here. Crisis. They haven't called it a crisis. Joe Biden still, we did a whole article on it like 2 weeks ago. He told reporters it wasn't a crisis. And we were all baffled. Creasy up here still to this day would not call it a crisis. It's just a situation. I know it's wild, you guys. I'm right there with you. This is insane. She was brutally murdered and raped in her room, and he strangled her with the phone cord, and then he just robbed her of $6. That's how disgusting these people are. Not only it's already bad enough to rape somebody and murder them. Don't get me wrong. It's another level, the fact that you're going after an autistic person, raping and murdering them, and taking $6. Animals poisoning the blood. Yes, some of them are. I'm sorry, not all of them. Not all of them. I'm being clear because there's going to be a leftist that's going to clip this somewhere and somehow it's going to come back and they're like, oh, look what he's doing. He's a racist. No, I don't care who you are. Come legally. If you want to assimilate in our country, there's a process. Please come, do it lawfully. Go after that American dream, prosper. Just don't sit there and try to change our culture, our value system, our ideology, our constitution. No. You came here to want a better life. Why? Because it's better than the place of where you were at, or else you would have never fled from there in the first place. Some of these people want to murder your children. Some of these people are bringing fentanyl across the border, murdering your children. Some of these people are pouring across the border, and they're shutting down schools and having to go to remote learning, so your children get screwed. You notice that it's always Americans getting screwed here, getting shafted, all the while in New York City or Chicago, illegal immigrants are getting $84,000 per person. You heard that correctly. Yep, some of you missed the episode the other day. $7,000 per month per illegal alien. How many of you make $84,000 a year per person? Huh. They get free bedding, health care now in the state of California, shelter, 3-course meal throughout the day that's catered to whatever country they're coming from. That was from New York. They're getting Xboxes, plasma TVs. They're getting free phones, phone services, couches, rugs, coffee tables. Did I mention they're getting laundry services? They're getting athletic equipment in some areas. They're getting $7,000 a month in benefits, which equates to $84,000 a year. They're kicking out our Iraq and Afghanistan vets out of hotel rooms. All the while, Iraqi and Afghanistan immigrants that came here illegally are getting put up in those rooms. They're getting treated better. They're getting treated better than some of our own fellow brothers and sisters, our own Americans. Democrats love it. They'll eat it up. Like I said, they're gonna vote for Joe Biden in the millions. In the millions. He had a criminal record in El Salvador in 2020. And he had also gang tattoos. And they had to do all they had to do was make one phone call to pull up his criminal record in El Salvador to find out. He was on the list for and listed as a known gang member of MS-13. Those two things should have kept him from entering the country. That's too logical, though. That's way too logical. That's also way too much work. They just were curious on the guy's party affiliation. Are you Democrat or Republican? Come on in, buddy. Republican lawmakers have accused Mayorkas of dereliction of duty. If this is not a dereliction of duty from not just Biden to DHS Secretary Alejandro Marcus, and I really do mean this, I don't care who it is, I don't know what it is. I don't know what would be classified as a dereliction of duty. If your job was to sit there and secure and protect our borders and you have 10 million people pouring across, what the fuck are you doing? You know what I mean? Like, why are you wasting our taxpayer dollars on this idiot? I mean, the same question goes to Karine Jean-Pierre. Why are we paying her $180,000 and not answering anybody's questions? Why are we just throwing money around? Like, at what point is us Americans going to step up and be like, what the F? We're 34 trillion. This should have happened years ago. It should have happened decades ago. How have we let ourselves get $34 trillion in debt and not be pissed about it? Isn't that really, if you sit back, isn't that really an amazing thing that none of us are just like, oh shit, we're 34 trillion. I'm pissed about it. It's my number one issue other than legal immigration. That's why we talk about it all the time. You know how effed we are? I bring that up because Republicans caved again. Republicans caved again on the freaking debt. We're constantly getting effed, man. We as Americans, we must love pulling down our pants, bending over, just taking it in the rear from our politicians, because that's what's been going on for a long damn time. We'll see if something changes. But that's what's happening at our southern border. You got MS13 violent gang members coming across, raping autistic women. That's just freaking lovely. God damn. Well, in other news here, you got some people that think it's wise to not pay off their debt. So some student loan borrowers, rather, are boycotting payments to force the government to cancel debt. Some people just don't have it on, folks. This just, if you're one of these people and you watch the Bald Brad show, what are you doing? At least you know I'm being honest, right? I care about y'all, but what are you doing? Pay your debts. Pay your debts. You want to know who doesn't pay debts? Look, we need to start shaming people a little bit here. Okay, if we're going to be Republicans and conservatives, we don't pull shit like this. We pay our debts. We're better than them. Okay, we are. We're better than Democrats and libs. We are. So if we're going to say that we're better, we need to start acting like it. You know what I mean? Like that crap that was pulled there in the Capitol. As much as we've said about it, it's still bull crap. We should have never done that. You know what I mean? And I know I say we didn't do anything. You know, I'm a guy behind a mic and a camera. Like, we didn't do anything, but you understand what I mean? Like, those idiots that stormed it, they're idiots. They should never be classified as Republicans or conservatives, whether you guys agree with it or not. They should have never done it. It's stupid. It was stupid. This is stupid. We're better than Democrats and libs. Pay back our debts. We must do it. So some student loan borrowers are refusing to make payments in protest, hoping they can force the Biden administration to cancel all student loan debt. It's stupid. Hey, you know what? Go ruin your own credit score. Fine, whatever. It ain't my life. Ain't my life. Yeah, go ruin your credit score. That's fine. According to the intelligent.com, wow, there's Did anybody else see the irony in that? Anybody else see the irony in that? I'm not gonna pay back my student loan. And you know what? I'm really gonna get the government. I'm really gonna get the Biden administration. Coming from intelligent.com survey. Stuff writes itself. Survey of 1,000 federal student loan borrowers. About 25% said they had not made any payments, and 9% of those had not paid at all. Said they were not paying to pressure the government into canceling their debt. Are they stupid? Do they not? You have a government that's $34 trillion in debt. Do you think they care that you're going into debt either? According to the survey, about 44% of those boycotting their payments said they believe their protest will result in the government canceling at least some of their federal student loan debt, the survey found. I love how they say like it's canceling. Like, oh, it's just being forgiven. No. You're just being given money. Like, our hard-earned money's paying off your decision for going to get a degree of which you can't afford. I got a degree. I had a student loan, $60,000 student loan. I paid it off myself. I wasn't asking for a handout. I worked multiple jobs to pay that bad boy off. But you got people here that sit there and just want a handout all the time. Why are we dealing with this? Why is this even a conversation? You want to know why? It's because nobody tells these people to their face to man up. Like, F off, go pay your own bills. Like, we've gone so soft as a nation. Like, we're so scared to just tell people now straight to their face of like, hey, why don't you go pay your own damn bills? I got enough to worry about here. You know what I mean? I got enough to worry about on my own end. Why don't you go pay your own bills? Why am I liable for your decision making? About 28% they think that the boycott is likely to succeed in getting the government to cancel all student loan debt. You know what? Fine. Don't pay off I hope they don't pay off their debt. The world's competition. It only allows us to elevate higher then. Because all they're going to do is drive themselves further in the debt. Their credit score is going to suck. And you know what? That's fine. Then we'll sit there and outcompete them at the end of the day. Free market, baby. You guys, not you, the listeners, but the libs here, probably most likely the progressives, these hippies, going, oh, I'm not going to pay back my stuff, man. Biden's got my back. Biden doesn't even have his own back. Biden don't know what the hell's going on. Are you kidding me? It's pretty astonishing that they sit there and think the government is actually going to bail them out. Maybe it might happen. I mean, I guess I wouldn't put past our government to do something idiotic with Joe Biden in office. I don't think it's going to happen. As many as 86% said they think it is very or somewhat likely that the boycott will bring attention to the student loan issue. Yeah, maybe bring attention, and people going, yes, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Have fun with that. You're not going to be able to get a loan later on. Your credit score is going to suck. Nobody's going to want to lend you money ever again. Sure. And you know what? Maybe housing prices will go down a little bit. Right? They ain't going to be afford it. There's going to be more supply than demand. Perfect. I need a home. The pandemic pause on student loan payments expired in October after more than 3 years. Close to 9 million people missed their first payment, the Department of Education said last month. That means about 40% of the 22 million people who had student loan payments due in October still not made a payment by well into November. But these people need more money, you guys. They need more money. Well, what were you doing all those other years? What are you doing now? You know what I mean? It's astonishing how bad people are with money. It really is. There's a thing called behavioral economics. It's like the psychology aspect of personal finance. And behind the scenes, it's just another label for it is the stupid things people do with money. You're seeing it right here. You're seeing it right here. In June, the Supreme Court struck down President Biden's massive $430 billion student loan relief plan that would have forgiven 40 million people's loans. Good. Again, it comes down to why should you have somebody else's money? Like, what did you do to deserve to get your student loan debt removed? Remember how they were trying to pull the whole HEROES Act? And that was for people that were actually in wartime to have at least a pause on their loans or some sort of relief. Last time I checked, none of these people were in the middle of war. None of these people actually sat there and sacrificed their life. Some of them probably did. And then there's a conversation to be had. Hey, you're in the middle of war right now. You're sacrificing your life on the front lines. Hey, maybe we should have that debt relieved somewhat. But at least there's a conversation to be had there. But a lot of these people just want to hand out. A lot of these people don't want to work hard. A lot of these people want to fold over like a turtle, say, woe me, look how bad I got it because I decided to go in the lesbian dance theory and now I'm making $10,000 a year because I got a major that sucks, but I paid $550,000 for it at NYU or some other school that they learned only critical race theory and how to go after Americans and, type online and go after freaking conservatives, Republicans, trying to censor them, trying to boycott them, all these other things. They didn't learn anything in college, which is why they still aren't paying off their loans because they're idiots. They're idiots. Biden has still managed to forgive up to 116 billion student loans for more than 3.4 million people. But he gets away with it. He gets away with it, you guys. And, so it's just more money out the door, sending billions of dollars to Ukraine, sending billions of dollars to $6 to $10 billion to Iran, who funds terrorism. Let that one sink in. Sending billions of dollars to other countries left and right. We don't have any money. We don't have any money. Americans sit there and are pulling this maneuver. So everything's going down the dumpster. We'll see what comes of it, folks. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the Bald Brad Show. It is Friday. We will be back tomorrow here Saturday. Hit that like and subscribe button. Leave us a comment down below. Hope you enjoyed always hanging out with me in these mornings. Get yourself a mug. Drink these coffee. Dude, this thing's still piping. Wow. It's still good, though. We're going to finish this cup of coffee. We're going to have a nice, lovely Friday here. I hope all of you have a blessed weekend. Please join me Saturday and Sunday. We'll be back here on the Bald Brad Show with the latest and greatest news. Folks, I'll see you tomorrow here on the Bald Brad Show.